action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. From State Farm Arena, tonight it's the Atlanta Hawks getting set to match up with the Toronto Raptors. The opening tip corralled by the Hawks. They've got it first as we're underway in Atlanta. Trae Young to Allen Crabbe. Jay, I'm going to say that you don't know this, but since 1980, the Hawks have drafted only 4 players to have appeared in the All-Star game. Doc Rivers, Kevin Willis, Al Horford, and Jeff Teague.
Well, how about a guy named Dominique Wilkins?
The crossover gets inside and the slam dunk.
I'm telling you right now, with moves like that, scoring is not going to be an issue tonight.
To Parker. Five seconds to shoot. Parker. The Raptors able to clear the board. Stuffs it down with authority.
It can only be one of 2 things here. 1, the defender ran out of gas. Or 2, this dude is just unstoppable.
To Parker. Jabari Parker. 2 for 3 now here in the first.
In the paint, you need to finish. Just like that.
Give him 2 points. High percentage.
It's almost like he had the defender on a string, and he's the puppet master.
To Jordan. From the painted area, won't go down. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
Lets it fly from long range. Great defense, forcing the miss. Trae Young to Allen Crabbe. Tough make through traffic.
And for the money Crabbe got, he better be a professional scorer, getting it done the hard way.
Fires the 3. Oh, good offense, beating good defense.
I hope everyone here knows the golden rule. Guys, remember, sharing is caring.
Trae Young to Parker. Right time, right player.
Can't teach height.
Beyond the arc for 3. Smothering D. To Trae Young. Tosses. Flushes down the slam. Jay, they make it look so easy.
Yeah, but it's really not that easy. And as a passer, if your pass is just a fraction too early or a fraction too late, that throws the whole play off. The timing of this has to be impeccable.
Stuffs it down with authority.
And no emotion, just that ice-cold stare. That's a sign of somebody who's here to compete.
To Allen Crabbe. To Trae Young. With the step back.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Easy path to the rim.
There's some players out there that like the freedom of space, and then we have the anomalies. We have the players who feel comfortable being uncomfortable, and almost the physicality of the game centers them and puts them right on balance every time.
Not that time. To Lowry. Lays it up and in.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Hawks with the basketball. Gets to the basket and scores.
I don't think these kind of shots are tough for Trae Young. You see, he's always been the smallest guy on the court, so he's had to finish through the...
We have both squads set to make some moves right now. It's the Raptors with the basketball. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
The free throw, good. Caps off the three-point play. The lead is 4. Down to Gay. Rudy Gay slams it down. They have set the tone in this one.
I love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
Add 2 points to the board.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Marc Gasol, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
So many times you can tell if a player is going to finish before he even gets to the rim. Did you see that look on his face? That was the look of a three-point play. You always going in thinking you can get more at the rim.
To Allen Crabbe. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
And the last 10 sequences down the court, everybody's touched the ball. You don't see anybody with any kind of negative expressions on their face because everybody's eating.
Here's Atlanta. Knocked loose. Ah, the monster stuff.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Leaves his man in the dust and finishes at the rim.
Man, he's got the defender out there tap dancing like that on national TV. That's not a good sign.
Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Stuffs it down with authority. Jay, they've had no answer for this guy.
He's been on fire this first quarter. That's the way you take it right to your opponent. You attack right out of the gate.
Here comes the screen. Trae Young. Stuffs it down with authority.
That's how you punctuate a good first quarter. 3 more left to go, but you've set the momentum for the second.
Fires the 3. Rebounds taken down by the Raptors. Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. First quarter in the books. The Raptors have the lead. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get and the finish at the rim.
Here's lesson number 1. When you allow a player like that The freedom of space to dance with the ball? There's no telling what kind of breakdance move they might hit you with.
It's good. Coach wants to see more from his D.
Ooh, that confidence level is so superior. Whenever you start jogging back on defense before the ball even goes through the net, that speaks for itself.
It's good. And one.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Free throw's good. It's a three-point play. This big first half continues. It's Atlanta ball. Knocked loose. It's a turnover as they head the other way.
When you're outmatched talent-wise, you cannot get outworked. Get that ball back.
Into the front court comes Collison. His guys down big. Screen coming. Trae Young to Allen Crabbe. Here's a chance from long range. Not that time. He misses.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
It's good. Count the basket and the foul.
The defender was actually in a good position there. They even made a decent play on the ball. But sometimes those bounces go the other way. Still, stay aggressive out there.
Saric at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 82%. Free throw's good as they continue to widen their lead. Hawks have it. Collison to Trae Young. Probing the defense. Trying to make his move. Has a look. Knocks it down. Off the step back.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Stuffs it down with authority. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
Marc Gasol swats it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Shot from the lane won't go.
Seems like a lot of contact on that play. If I were that player, I would pull the ref over to the side, talk to him, express to him how much contact there was so he could look for that same foul call potentially the next time down the court.
Collison into the front court. Down a bundle to Trae Young.
I agree, I thought there was a foul, but also it's all about your approach. You can't come down the lane and jump off one leg. It's called a power lift. Go off two legs and expect the contact.
Trae Young to Allen Crabbe. Oh, had him going there for a second. Baseline drive. Takes it right to the rim. A lot of contact there, but they say no foul.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
And count the basket.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Count the basket inside.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
Toronto with the basketball. 4-3. Trying for a 40-point night, but it's off the mark.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
It goes down.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
For three, that's how you defend. That misses with 3 seconds left. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to Orlando, where we say hello to Jalen Rose and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen Rose, and this is your EA Sports Halftime Report. The Raptors were the dominant team in that first half, without question. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets for the Toronto Raptors. The Hawks have yet to...
Player of the half.
I'm ready to skip ahead and just get this guy player of the game. You can tell he's on his way to a special game. These are the top plays from the opening half.
Number 2. Number 1.
Fellas, back to you.
First half, very one-sided. What will the second half bring? We'll find out as we're underway. Drove the lane and finished strong at the hoop on that one.
I know there's that old saying that says one man can't beat five, but we're watching one man carry four other players. His back has to be hurting. Another big-time finish.
To Allen Crabbe. Screen coming. Going to launch beyond the arc. That one off the mark. It's no good. So Lowry. And scores at the basket. Jay, tough recovery that time.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Parker to Trae Young. Marc Gasol sends it away.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Count the basket. 2 more points in the paint.
There's some players out there that like the freedom of space, and then we have the anomalies. We have the players who feel comfortable being uncomfortable, and almost the physicality of the game centers them and puts them right on balance every time.
To Allen Crabbe. To Parker. From long range. Can't get the bounce. Big finish at the rim.
Just wait a second, Ed. Wait 1 second. Can we go back to the play before this great play that we just saw? Just because you have a bad offensive possession, you can't allow that to go down and reciprocate itself on the defensive end. One bad play does not make 2 bad plays. You have to bounce back. That's how you play this game.
DeAndre Jordan, look out. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Here comes the screen. Trae Young to Parker. Not that time. And count the basket inside.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Trae Young to Jordan. Pascal Siakam rejects it.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Lowry with it. His guys hold a commanding lead. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
To Parker. 5 to shoot for Atlanta. And he's going to the free throw line.
Sometimes when you get up big, you get a little careless. But attention to detail through the end, that's how you avoid unnecessary fouls.
First try, no good. Missed the second, 0 for 2. Livingston across the timeline. His guys holding the big lead. Yes, and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
That was such a great job by the offensive player. Knowing that you're probably going to take some lumps here and there, but still remaining aggressive throughout the shot and getting a crack at the extra point.
Free throw good to cap off the three-point play as they continue to open things up here in the third quarter. To Rudy Gay. Wide open look, won't go.
You see, Ed, this is where coaches get fired. It's great to have good offensive sets, but if you can't...
Stuffs it down with authority. Whistle stops play. Timeout here for Atlanta as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. Great dish to set it up. Rudy Gay slams it down. Here on their home floor, they're chipping away.
I mean, does this crowd have a pulse? Are they even alive? Sometimes when you make a play like that, your crowd needs to get you back in this ballgame.
The crossover gets inside and the slam dunk.
Just a ball-handling wizard, still putting people under his spell.
It's the Hawks with the basketball. To Rudy Gay. Marc Gasol snatching it out of the air. Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Marc Gasol. Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Marc Gasol.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive. Shot clock winding down. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Can't go down. Smothering defense.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Here's Atlanta with the basketball.
You're on the island now.
To Collison. Surveys the floor. Collison to Rudy Gay. Has a chance. The shot by Gay, no good.
Just seems like there's lead in the feet of the defenders. You have to bounce quicker to the ball to deter that shot.
Count the bucket for 2.
And if you don't contest, he's knocking that down with ease.
Collison takes aim at Livingston. Darren Collison, very efficient and making an impact. He's 3 for 3.
Might have had an extra dribble or 2 there, but he got the shot he wanted.
To Gasol. Shot from in close, no good.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
And finishes strong.
Man, they are just continuing to pour it on. But the one thing we know about in this league, you have to make sure that you continue to play with energy because leads can evaporate quickly.
Charge with the board.
And you knew this game had a chance to get out of hand pretty quickly because of the communication. When these guys stepped on the court edge, they were yapping back and forth to each other. And that kind of communication, that kind of collective responsibility to one another, you feel that on the court. That's why this team is special.
To Collison. Trying to cash in. Collison's shot won't fall. He'll put it up at the buzzer. That ends the 3rd quarter. The Raptors enjoying a sizable lead. Hawks with the basketball to start this 4th quarter, and they've really had very little go right for them on either end of the floor.
Remember that old line, your attitude determines your altitude? Well, when you see dejected faces on the sideline, that poor body language gave you an impression that they had no chance to win this game.
To Rudy Gay. And he finishes at the rim.
And that is the sign of an unselfish team. When everybody in transition thinks they have a chance to get the ball because you have a willing passer, somebody willing to make other players on his team look great, that's only going to force your players to play that much harder on offense and give you more energy on the defensive end.
Doesn't get the bounce. Livingston to bring it up. Stuffs it down with authority. At this point, if it continues, it just may be good night, Irene.
And ooh, I like that Irene line.
There you go, Jay.
And sometimes as a player on the defensive end, Ed, you need to draw a line in the sand. You have to find a way to change the narrative because right now the constant theme has been too many easy buckets.
Jay, don't deny it. You're an old soul at heart.
Yeah, I still don't know who Irene is, though.
Me neither. All right. Lets it fly from long range. Tough shot. Well defended. Rudy Gay takes aim at Livingston. And Jay, they call the foul.
Timing was just a tad bit off.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Livingston across the timeline. He'll run the offense. Tough make through traffic.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end When there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
And a throwdown.
You know, it reminds me, Ed, of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with a fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Collison. The Hawks with 4 to shoot. From the painted area, won't go down. To Sean Livingston. Count the basket at the rim.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. Ah, no good. Nothing going here on that drive. To Gasol. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Marc Gasol with the block.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Knocked loose. That's a turnover. It goes the other way.
You better get back on D. This thing is not over.
And throws it down.
Well, look, you can't be caught flat-footed on defense. You need to be on the balls of your feet, especially in transition. You have to jab at that guy with the ball, hedge at him. Make him think that maybe you will take him. Maybe you'll fan out to a defender on the perimeter. But still, keep him guessing. But when you don't do that, that's easy money.
Marc Gasol with a piece.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Stuffs it down with authority.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Stuffs it down with authority.
I know there's that old saying that says one man can't beat 5, but we're watching one man carry 4 other players. His back has to be hurting. Another big-time finish.
Knocked loose. It's a turnover as they head the other way.
That's all she wrote. Dribble it out.
And a nice finish at the rim.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Cashes in for 2.
Ed, I know I'm not supposed to be biased. I'm not supposed to be rooting for guys, but I'm riding with Jabari. Get your work.
Gets it to go, and the foul.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Marc Gasol trying to cash in on a 3-point play. For his career, 77% at the line. Free throws good. Add one more to the total. This game feels out of reach. To Collison. Jabari Parker rocking the rim.
You never want to leave anything to chance when you attack the rim. You finish strong every time you head home.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
Sean Livingston at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. For his career, 79% at the line. Free throw's good as they continue to widen their lead. Hawks with the basketball to Parker. Dario Saric sends it away. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Add one more to his total.
Oh yeah, I like that.
DeAndre Jordan, look out.
And when you get your prescription, you take your medicine and you call it a day.
It was right there. It's the Raptors with the victory as they win this one in very convincing fashion. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Raptors were merciless in this game. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Toronto Raptors.
Player of the game.
Easy choice for player of the game. No one else made as big of an impact in this matchup.
Who was cold?
Every player that makes it to the NBA is a great athlete. Time now for the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it